So I pulled the trigger and picked up a new launch monitor on Black Friday. So the consensus on the internet is that the Bushnell Launch Pro is the next step up from the mevo Plus / Skytrack level of launch monitors. It's definitely more expensive, and it comes with a catch: an annual subscription. So in the box is a reflective alignment stick, a quick start guide, a extra long USB-C cord, the power cord, and the reflective dots that you put on your club face to get the club data. So my first impression is that the launch monitor is actually smaller than I thought it would be. It measures only 12 inches tall, but I guess from the photos I just thought that it looked bigger than it is. The shape is actually pretty cool, with the screen angled upwards so that you can see it perfectly while you're hitting balls, and then it actually doubles as a carrying handle. I wish it came with some kind of bag or case. It's definitely built really durable. I wouldn't worry about scratching it or scuffing it, anything like that. And it's bottom heavy, so it's not really going to tip over if you breathe on it wrong. Now, the initial setup was relatively straightforward. When you power on the device, it's going to ask you to connect to the internet. Once you've done that, it wants you to scan a QR code with your phone. That takes you to Foresight to create an account. And then from there, it immediately asks you to choose a subscription level. Now, all of the ball and club data is exactly the same across all three subscriptions. The basic level gives you access to the FSXPro iPad app, and the silver and gold levels give you access to all of their software, but the silver level gives you 5 golf courses and the gold level gives you 10. There's a few other differences between the silver and gold, but nothing major. I went with the basic level to start because I knew I was getting a 30-day free trial of the gold level, and I could decide after the 30 days. After the initial setup, I went ahead and installed FSXPlay on my gaming laptop. FSXPlay is their new flagship simulation software, and the graphics look amazing. They're a little bit more video game-like than GSPro, especially in the colors, but overall, it really looks amazing. I found the gameplay to be great, but my laptop was struggling to keep up. You could hear the fans kick on almost immediately, and I had several games where FSXPlay just crashed right in the middle of my round. Since I was feeling like my laptop was underpowered, I went back to the minimum PC requirements, and that page actually has 2 sets of PC requirements, and I'm not sure if I'm not understanding or what, but they're different. My graphics card is the NVIDIA 3070, and on one set of the requirements, it's saying that the minimum graphics card is the 3070 Ti for optimal performance. So a little bit confusing. All I would say is that I would recommend not skimping on the gaming computer if you're going to be playing FSXPlay. Now, I love the Foresight driving range, especially because you can set any distance and hit to a green. That's something that I really missed with my mevo Plus and the FS Golf app, was actually hitting to a green. I prefer the Foresight driving range, not the Paris driving range where the Eiffel Tower is in the background. To me, that's just kind of dumb, and I just like the look of a normal driving range, but hey, whatever you like. Overall, it's beautiful software, but it still feels a little new. There's still not a ton of customization available in the settings for your play options. In my simulator, my hitting mat is offset to the right, and I really wanted to move the mini map over to the left side of the screen, but there doesn't seem to be a way to do that yet. Also, on most of the courses, there's a flyover when you go to each hole that has the distance and hole information, and that seems to be wrong on every hole. That just kind of bugs me because it seems like an easy fix for such expensive software. Over time, I think they'll fix this stuff and expand the software with future updates. Now, FSX 2020 is their older simulation software, and it's not available for download in my Foresight account for my device. You actually had to go to their software support page and find FSX 20, download, and install instructions. There's actually a specific FSX 2020 subscription version made specifically for the Bushnell Launch Pro users. That's the one you need. FSX 2020 definitely seems easier on the computer, but the graphics look weak compared to FSXPlay. It also seems to be much more robust in terms of settings and options for gameplay, and I think FSXPlay will eventually look more like that. The FSX Pro iPad app isn't very pretty to look at, but it's actually kind of cool. You can set your target at different distances and save and organize your sessions with tags. You can also even print out reports of your sessions with all your data on it. It's kind of cool. As for the launch monitor itself, I found it really easy to use. The display shows where the ball is in your hitting zone, but it still took me a little bit to figure out exactly where the launch monitor should sit. The reflective alignment stick is used to set the alignment to a target if it's different than the alignment of the launch monitor itself. You pretty much just lay it down in front of the launch monitor and it calculates the angle. I had a problem with my alignment stick where it wouldn't lock on to the stick. It kept just saying calculating, and I contacted Bushnell support and they're sending me a new alignment stick. But overall, it really wasn't a big deal because I could always just align the launch monitor itself, and that really gave me no problems. I've even gotten it to work a few times, but when I contacted Bushnell, they just said it shouldn't be that hard. So hopefully the new stick fixes the problem. One thing that's been a huge improvement over the Mevo Plus is the chipping and putting. Because the Launch Pro is a camera-based launch monitor instead of a radar-based, like the Mevo Plus, it's only looking at the impact of the golf ball. That means that whenever I hit a putt, it's only looking at that first, I don't know, foot of roll, maybe less, and it doesn't matter what the golf ball actually does after that. It's already read what it needs to read. So there's no tinkering with the setup or anything like that. You can putt right off your hitting mat and it won't matter if the ball bounces away or anything like that, as long as you've got a nice little impact on your hitting mat. With the Mevo Plus, you really had to have a perfect setup that allowed the ball to roll smoothly all the way to your screen for the Mevo Plus to read the putt. I never really put in the time or energy to get my setup just right for that. But now with the Launch Pro, I have zero issues chipping and putting, and it's a big improvement. So here's my take after the first 30 days. The launch monitor itself is fantastic. It's super easy to set up and use indoors, and I think it's perfect for somebody that wants a really nice home golf simulator, but also wants to be able to take the launch monitor to the range. FSXPlay is really nice, but it's not better than GSPro. It's more expensive and you don't get near as many courses. I think it'll really put a strain on your gaming computer, so don't skimp on that. But in terms of gameplay, I think it's just as good. So you first might need to decide if you want to go with the Launch Pro, which has an annual subscription, or pay everything up front and go with the Foresight GC3, which is the same exact launch monitor. I happen to think that going with the Launch Pro at a lower initial price is the better option because it gives you flexibility. You might decide that you want to sell it after a year and move on to something different, or you might decide that you absolutely love the Foresight software and you can unlock the Launch Pro for a flat price and you don't have a subscription anymore. Unlocking it basically turns it into a GC3. Now, a lot of people are going the route of going with the basic subscription and then using GSPro as their simulator software. Going that route would cost about $500 a year for those two items combined. There's no telling if those prices are going to stay the same or if eventually Foresight might require a gold level subscription to be able to use third-party software. So which subscription am I going with? I haven't fully decided yet, but most likely I'll go with the silver subscription, mainly just to keep access for you guys. I want to be able to use it for this channel and keep up with future updates. Now, if I didn't need the Foresight software for this channel, I would probably just go with the basic subscription and GSPro for my sim software. I know that because since getting GSPro, I haven't really used FSXPlay at all. So I hope you enjoyed this little overview of the Launch Pro. I'll be making a lot more content on the Bushnell Launch Pro. So if you want to keep up, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.